Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 3 Remastered on brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 5 of 22. It is entitled London Underground. So this is kind of a fun chapter, and one of the reasons that I like using the pirate skin is because I really don't like Drake in his suit. I just don't care for it. I've never really cared for the avatar itself. I kind of just latched onto this pirate, and I've had some sort of a connection with this guy. I'm not too sure, but this is the chapter where, if you haven't already experienced it, and you probably haven't because this is the first gun-heavy chapter of the game, you're probably going to realize very shortly that holy shit, I'm dying really, and I mean really fast. And if you're new to Brutal, then I can definitely understand you saying that. But if you have just come from the other two games, then you really have nothing to be surprised about. So it's called Brutal for a reason, guys. Now, we're going to be doing a little solving of puzzles, some combat. For some reason, they increase the speed at which enemies run in this game. In the first two games, they ran at a moderate speed that you could keep up with, but in this game, for some reason, the word jackrabbit comes to mind. They run around like completely jackrabbits. So, as you're up here walking on the roof beams, your friends down there are going to cross the paths. Cross the path of these two agents. I didn't hear any gunfire down there, so I presume that my friends down there just hid from these guys. But the last time I did this, I heard some gunfire down there. So whichever it is, they'll either avoid the agents or they'll take care of them. Or if you want to, you can use your gun and take care of them from up here as well. I don't know how much of an effect that has on your ammo when you start the next fight, because to my recollection, you get 7 rounds, and you want to make sure that you have those 7 rounds, because we're going to be doing some weapon switching and some weapon conservation. Now, when you come down here, your friends are going to be seen by an agent over here, and for some reason, the game has a prolonged takedown that Drake does. This is not something that normally happens. He just quickly snaps their neck. It doesn't take that amount of time for some reason. That's an exaggerated and prolonged time. So it's misrepresentative of how long it takes to do a stealth takedown. I really like the stealth takedown times in this game. It's just bam, it's over, move on. Execute and move on. Remember, I think I was saying that Ninja Gaiden 3 and Ultimate Ninja. So we've got a couple of agents over here as we go to the library. Just press square. Cutter will help you out, and then we're going to be unfortunately doing a little bit of slow walking over here. Now, so the first thing they're going to give us a tutorial. So, in this game, they increase the amount of things that you can do with takedowns. You can do takedowns from above now. You can jump onto enemies, and you can also just drop right down onto them from above. I can't remember if you could do the latter in Uncharted 2, but definitely the jumping on them is brand new. So it's not going to show you any posture here, but every time that you're available to do a takedown in this game, there will be a particular posture that your character does that signals instantly that you can do the takedown. Now, once this guy is finished, you're going to approach the desk with the lamp on it. I had some problems getting the context button to appear, so just bear with me for one moment. And then once you interact with the desk and whatever on it, there's a cutscene. I just skipped it out. Only then can you interact with the deer head over here. So then once you latch onto this by pressing triangle, now you're going to have some gunfire. Now you get a checkpoint right here, which is really nice, and try to not waste too many bullets there. Try to get at least one headshot. One headshot on those two guys is not unreasonable, I don't think. Now it's just going to be important because you want to make sure that you have enough ammunition on this part to leave one round so that we can do a little bit of weapon switching, because we will need a round to do the weapon switching. So bam, bam, take care of this guy, and then just remember, leave one round. And the reason for that is because we are going to use our silenced pistol, discard it, take up his defender, pick up our silenced pistol again, go get another fresh defender, go back and get the defender that we dropped earlier, or just pick up the other defender because they all three have defenders. And then you can have 64 rounds. 64 rounds is the most amount of defender ammunition that you can have. And also, after you do this fight, for which you get no checkpoint, you can go back, and I believe I'm going to go back and show you guys exactly how to utilize this and preserve your ammo. Go back, switch back to the silenced pistol. See, you wouldn't be able to switch back to the silenced pistol if it had 0 rounds, because then it would just be removed from the game. So now we have the maximum amount of ammo, and we're going to be coming out over here and doing another fight. So now you're reposing on a checkpoint. It's pretty safe either way you want to go over here. There will be a couple guys that make bold to charge you. Now, on almost all of these fights, for some reason, there's going to be, and I think it's just to put the pressure on you. What happens is you've got normal agents shooting their gunfire at you, and sometimes charging you. But see how fast these guys move? It's incredible how fucking fast they move. But in the rear, they're going to have guys with laser sights trying to lock onto you. Now, the threat obviously is not the guys trying to lock onto you, because they take a long time to lock onto you, and all they're doing is trying to line up a sight. They're not actually firing bullets that can kill you in 2 shots, and that's what these guys are doing over here. So just finish off the last guy, and then you are going to get a checkpoint, and then you've got a little bit more to do. And we are going to, I think this guy's going to have a Cal 7 that I could pick up for myself. And I love how it just like falls into your hands like that. Okay. All right, good. We're good to go. We can't do any more weapon switching right now. So we're going to get to the checkpoint area right over here. And you may notice when you play your game that 2 agents come on top of this train. One always stays up, one jumps down when they both come up there. Other times you might notice that one agent comes down, then one guy tries to flank you from the left. So that, there's 2 scenarios that can play out there. Now, this guy tends to be a bit of a rusher, so I would use the Cal 7 for the nice spray damage. And now there's about 2 agents left, and the best thing to do is to head over to the left so that you can safely deal with the remaining enemies. I was going to say something, I think I forgot it, but and just bear with me if I repeat myself a little bit too, because I'm actually redoing this video. I've already completed the entire guide. I'm just coming back to this video because I had some mistakes in it before, and I wanted to do a project redux for it. Okay, so now we have another checkpoint, and if you click in the R3 button, you can zoom in a little bit, and once again, you're going to have enemies in the rear, in the front, just regular agents shooting at you, and then in the rear, you've got the guys with the laser sights. There's going to be 3 agents in the foreground, and in the background you're going to have the guys with the laser sights. You're going to notice that once you kill the last agent in the foreground, you're going to have those guys withdrawing. And now the door over here to the left is going to open. And if these guys kill you, you don't get a checkpoint. So be careful about that. I'm going to try to use some spray damage and take these guys out. And then after you kill them and ascend the stairs, then you get another checkpoint. So, come on up here. And usually there's going to be an agent pretty close to a propane tank over here so that you can instantly kill this guy. And if not instantly, then he will be staggered and wounded, and that could help you out. Now you can't press up against cover over there, which is unfortunate, but you can engage in some combat with this guy. He's got a sawed-off, I believe. Yeah, he's got a sawed-off shotgun over here. So before you go up the ladder, just see, there isn't anything that we can switch out for the sidearm quite yet, but don't come up here. And I hate to say it like that, like it's an admonishment, but I'm just warning you guys because this is a difficult game, and I want the best for you, and I want you to have the least amount of hassle as you go through this game. Okay, that's all the admonishments are. So yet again, we've got guys in the rear with laser sights. See, the sawed-off shotgun is a bad idea over here because of the long-range combat that you're doing. You're not doing combat where the guys are charging you. Now, of course, you can use your handgun, your sidearm, as it's called, and I think I do that, but it is nice to be able to zoom in with this. So that then you will also notice that the laser sight enemies will withdraw. We're never actually going to kill those guys. They're just going to be a pressure point that the game applies to you. Okay, so now that we come up here, I'm going to hug the back of this train, and then I'm going to steadily approach these enemies over here. I'm going to walk onto the propane tank, and sometimes this does kill them, but in this case, it just looks like it staggered them a little bit and removed some of their HP from them. And if you do it this way, there's going to be one guy to the extreme right. Cutter ends up dealing with this guy, but what you can do is you can actually just go back the way you came, or just use blind fire. Now, I made a mistake over here, and it was too bad for me while I was playing, but it's a mistake that you can learn from. And this is my mistake, because when I went to do my weapon switching, I went to do it on the enemy that had the different weapon that I'm using now. I messed up, to put it frankly. I picked back up the weapon that I had discarded first before picking up the fresh clip. So in this case, I had switched, you may saw, I switched to the sawed-off shotgun from the Cal 7. Then instead of picking up the fresh Cal 7 that the last enemy dropped, I picked up the Cal 7 that I originally and temporarily switched out for the sawed-off shotgun. Then, and this is complicated, when I went back to where the last guy had dropped his Cal 7, I got a pittance of ammo, as happens. So to have avoided that, what I needed to do was to have switched from the sawed-off shotgun, replaced that with the fresh Cal 7 that the last bitch dropped, then picked up my Cal 7 that I switched originally for the shotgun. You understand that? Was it complicated enough for you? Jesus Christ. But had I not screwed up, I could have had a bit more flexibility up here, but it's not too bad. What you want to do is rush that first guy, do a takedown on him, and then there's going to be 3 final guys. Get the fuck out of my way, guys. Come on. They keep getting in my way. Okay, so then hug the wall over here, and then there's going to be... this guy sometimes comes out, he sometimes doesn't. It's kind of up to him. And now what we need to do is just... See, you can't do the SWAT turn from here to the cover to the left, where Cutter's hiding behind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand right about here and just roll, use some iframes from the roll, and then come up the stairs, and then we're gonna exit the facility in a moment. Now you don't need to start shooting at it right away. I'm impatient, so I let them drop the lock, I shoot it off, but in the process of shooting that lock and busting the door open, enemies will shoot you, so you've got to do it really quickly. I usually die once on it, but I always do it the second time. So anyway, guys, chapter 5, pretty tough and exciting chapter. We've got a lot more coming. Chapter 6 is going to take place in France, so we're going to be in a completely different environment. So I want to wish you guys the very best, and to thank you for all of the support and patronage that you are applying to my guide. And I will see you in the next chapter. For Bic Benedict Productions, please take care.